Okay, working on 95 F250. For my next trick, we are going to adjust our steering. Now, in a previous video, you saw where we took the wobble out of the steering wheel itself, where it was, you could grab a hold of it and shake it up and down, and that had slop in the bearings in the column. Now we're going to fix tight steering or sloppy steering left to right. Either your steering is too tight that you really have to muscle it, or you move it back and forth 8 inches before the wheels actually move anywhere. So we're going to cover that. So go ahead and pop your hood. Okay, so looking right down in the engine bay here, we're going to go right down. You'll see your steering box right there. And you're going to notice, I'm going to try and point to it here with the socket. Right there is a nut that is on a stem that has a slot in it. We're going to loosen that nut, and then we're going to turn that stem counterclockwise to, in this case, loosen our steering because it's too tight. We had previously adjusted this because the steering wheel was too loose. We were moving it left to right good amount and the wheels weren't turning, so we tightened that up. And you really don't know until you take it for a test drive if you've created too much tightness. And you don't want steering bind. That will make that steering gear wear out prematurely. So now I need to get back in here and loosen it. So that's what we're going to do. Crack that nut loose, and then go ahead, and if your steering is loose, turn that screw one full rotation clockwise. If your steering is too tight, turn that screw counterclockwise. I recommend going in, depending on how much slop you have, you want to go in quarter turn increments. That way you're not taking too much of it doesn't take much once you get the slop taken out. So quarter turn increments, depending on how much slop you have, tighten that nut back down, take the truck for a test drive and see where you're at. And that's really all there is to this. Just cracking that nut loose, turning that screw, tightening the nut back down, test drive it and see if you need to loosen it or tighten it some more. And that'll get your steering all squared away. This really is that short of a video. That's all there is to adjusting slop in your steering. So I hope this helped you out. If you haven't subscribed, please do that now. And if this helped you out at all, hit the video with a like. I'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Drop a little side note in here. How you would know if your steering is properly adjusted is when you're turning. I was turning and the wheel was staying in that position. It was binding and sticking. When you're making a turn, the steering wheel should try to straighten itself back out if it's properly adjusted. Whereas at the same time, if you grab steering wheel and you can move it significantly with the wheels not moving, then it's too loose. So that's kind of where you're going to be aiming for, is that nice middle ground where you get responsiveness pretty quick, but at the same time when you're turning around a corner, the steering wheel wants to straighten itself back out naturally.